What's up, ladies and gents? Gatsy Gaming here, back with another video. So today we're going to be going through Ben Bigger. Now obviously a lot of people have not probably built this character, but what I can say is Ben is he's such a fun character. Like, obviously apart from the aesthetic that he has, he's a bit slow, but in terms of damage wise, Ben is such an amazing character in terms of defense and being a tank in general, and I think he actually does benefit the team as a whole in terms of providing for them shields if you are able to obviously utilize him correctly with his kit. Now obviously moving forward, if you like the video, hit that like and subscribe. It does help with the algorithm, but let's get into it. So obviously Ben Bigger is a tank character, obviously fire specifically, and he's very well built in terms of having both attack and defense stats. Obviously he's not a general attack character, but you can see from the general kind of stats here that Ben, irrespective of building mostly defense units, gets a lot of attack, and this is actually even compared to like my general attack character, who's fully built up, by the way. So he gets a lot of attack. And one thing that I've noticed as well is the fact that apart from being like a lot of defense, he also brings in a lot of damage as a tank, which is very odd but very good at the same time. Now apart from that, one thing that is important is obviously we're going to go through his skill, his kit, and so as we go through his skills, basically what he does is that his basic attack just basically deals like 3 strikes, and then obviously the last strike he kind of jumps up and then hits down with his tanker thing, and then that's pretty much it. Quick assist is that when obviously you do a quick assist, instead of a dodge, it's more of a parry. Now obviously this is different because most characters do have a dodge and a parry in their kit when they're doing the assist, and for him it's mostly just a general defensive parry assist where he deals like fire damage, so on and so forth, so not that bad, right? Now when we come to his actual skill, like his special attack, what Ben does is that he has a parry counter. So how he works is that what you do is that you can play him 2 ways. You can hold down the parry button, which is your skill button, and what he does is basically just put down his big block and then waits for an attack, and then the moment an attack hits you, you can basically release it, tap it again, and then he does like a parry counter, which is basically like him spinning with his block on fire, which basically deals a lot of fire damage. There's also another way that you can play him, and that's by basically waiting exactly for the moment when a character or enemy hits you, and then you use your skill. Upon doing that, you press it again, and what he does is basically a spin attack. So you have 2 instances of basically playing Ben Bigger. You can either just, when you have enough EX power or EX gauge, you can basically just tap your triangle button or skill button twice, so you basically go 1, 2, and then he kind of dashes forward with his block. Or you can wait for an attack from the enemy, press it, and then he spins around and basically deals that amount of damage in fire damage. And then in doing that, he also gives every single character in the team a crit rate and shield buff for them to be able to obviously have more durability and survivability, and obviously attack power, because when you have a shield, which I'll also talk about, you get an extra amount of crit rate. Now his ult basically just deals a massive amount of fire damage, and you know, surprisingly, it does actually have a lot of anomaly proficiency, meaning that it does stack up a lot of fire damage or fire debuff. So you can kind of get the fire, you know, when you're attacking a character and then you build up the anomaly, he does actually build up a lot of anomaly for fire, which is surprising. That's why I'm saying Ben is such a good mix of attack, tank, and support, as well as anomaly, because his ult does so much fire damage in general damage, but it also inflicts a lot of anomaly fire damage. And then one of the major things is that obviously when he has a shield, what it does is that it grants every single character an extra crit rate of 16%. So in general, I mean, Ben is such a big character, and the way you build him is just through defense, but it's so interesting the fact that you can build him through just general all-out defense, and he has that much of an attack stat. Now for equipment, what I've gone for specifically is that I have gone for the defense set, which gives him defense plus 16%, and then obviously upon receiving an enemy's attack, which basically coincides with his skill kit, losing HP, the equiper takes 40 less damage for 2.5 seconds. And then what I've mixed in is the energy regen set, so obviously you can get just the EX and his meter as fast as possible. I've just mostly built him around defense mostly, so defense on the on the 5th gear, defense on the 6th gear, but energy regen on the last gear. The reason why I've not built him as defense on the last gear is because I do feel anyone other than an attack character and an anomaly character do need energy regen, so we can obviously utilize the buff that they give the whole team. In terms of the W engine, I went with the bunny band. What it does is it increases the max HP of the character, but increases the equipper's attack by 10% when they are shielded. Now obviously, all in all, coming back to why I feel Ben is such an amazing character, he deals so much damage, and he's such a good shielder. So in general, that was his kit. Now obviously, if you want to put him in a team, what I would prefer, what I would actually say is his best team depending on your account. So a good example, let's say, is actually, for example, let's go into, like, let's say this one, right? I'd say depending on your account, this is actually one of the best teams that you can kind of put on him, and depending on the characters you have. In essence, you kind of do want Ben Bigger, when Grace Howard, Anton. That's basically the general meta team for this specific lineup. But you could always go for a general team like Ben Bigger, Zhu Yang, and then actually go for Lucy, because this actually works in terms of their general buff. So like, as you can see, when another character on your squad shares the same attribute or faction, when the shield from the core passive guardian is in effect, the character's crit rate is increased by 16%. And then obviously for for Zhu Yang, as long as there's a support in the team, she basically gets an extra crit rate for her EX special, chain attack, or end after her ultimate. And then obviously for Lucy, who is actually quite a very good character, when another character in your squad shares the same attribute or faction, the guard boars inherit Lucy's crit rate and crit damage. So overall, Ben is a very unique character. As long as you have a fire damage dealing character in the team, he pretty much works. Apart from that, you could always just have like either a Grace or an Anton, and he will work. Another mixture which actually I've seen that really works very well is having a Ben, a Lucy, and actually having, what way is she? And Piper. But obviously in this case, you don't have an attacking character, you mostly just have an anomaly character as your main damage dealer. Now it's not bad, because obviously when you have Ben Bigger, he does deal a lot of damage in terms of just being a tank. A good example is, as I play on this team, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. So I'll just play this specific team so you can see what I'm talking about. So let me actually just put him as the first one. Now, one of the major reasons why I feel everybody was a bit underwhelmed about Ben Bigger is his slow walk and stuff. So I think everyone is really used to basically moving around really fast, but then you have Ben Bigger, who basically goes, you know, he just like that's him. He's a big bear. So obviously he has his dodge, which is okay. I mean, he dodges, and then obviously dodges, and then obviously throws down his block. So how his skill works a lot of the time is that what you're going to do is that you're either going to just put it down, wait, and then press again, and look how much fire anomaly damage has actually been hit. And so another way for it is just to wait for that attack precisely like that, and then do like that. Yeah. Another way is basically, what you can also do is, if you don't want to parry, you can just press it 2 times, and then he dashes towards it, and you can see that he already has a burn kind of affliction. And that's why I love Ben. He's such a character, like in terms of being a tank. He's so useful, to be honest. So even when you're doing events like this, it's so easy for you to basically take down bosses because of the amount of damage you can deal. And one of the major things is that his defense assist basically enables so much anomaly, and then you parry. Look how much damage he's dealing as a tank, by the way. Then and that's pretty much it. Ben, I feel Ben can, if you build him properly and you put him in a really good team, you're able to clear a lot of majority of the content in the game. Another thing, and where I've reached exactly with him specifically being part of my general lineup of the game, is that I was actually able to clear out stable node until obviously floor 10, and where I am at the moment is at obviously critical node suppression 2 specifically. Now obviously I don't have a good team, so what I'd even put is actually even this team specifically. This is where this is the team I'd say kind of puts you in a situation where I do need to now show his skill and his worth as a character. So the best way I kind of go sometimes is just I usually just go like this, and this is usually my team at the moment. So this is where I've reached, like in terms of the hardest game mode, the hardest obviously MOC or whatever you want to call it compared to other games of Hoyoverse. And I just want to show you how basically it performs at this level. What, that was like 200 and what, how much was that? So yeah, that's basically, I think, how he plays. This is him at like, this is where I am right now at the moment with the hardest level I can kind of pass specifically for the internode or whatever it's called. Let me actually just get the name correctly. Yeah, the critical node. So this is where so far I've reached. I need to be able to clear this out within 1 minute rather than just about 2 minutes. And I know my reason for that is the delay specifically just the fact that I do need to build up my Lucy so she can build she can deal a bit more damage. But if I put him on any other single, like let's say node, like if I put him on the node that has a fire weakness, I think it was this one specifically. So if I put him on this one, right, and the character, let's find one that is level 50 but has like a weakness to fire. I don't want to go all the way there. In fact, you know what? Let me show you this team. Let me show you this team because this team actually was really good. This would be a good example for any free-to-play player who's at this level at the moment. I think this would be a very good example. So a level 5, level 45, obviously before level 10 for this, because you do need an ether character to beat this level, which is a bit annoying sometimes, but I mean you can make it pass if you have like a Zuyang and a good character in terms of a fire or ether unit like Nicole. So we'll kind of do it for this level here, so you can kind of see how good it is. So I'll kind of rush through the first stage so I can actually show you how good it is on the second stage. So fire weakness, electricity weakness. So let me show you how good it is, and then that's it. Okay, so we're back here. I'm going to show you how good this team is in terms of this part here. He's actually very good in terms of even just general damage, especially as you can see, like 12,000 worth of damage if a character is basically weak to fire. Or maybe, you know, in this case, they were basically weak to fire, so it makes it easier for him to basically deal more damage. So then we do this. $136 worth of anomaly damage. He's such a good character. Like Ben is such a, like, if played properly, like you do enjoy him as a tank character, and there's that sort of security due to the fact that he has and gives shields. But that's pretty much it. That's all I want to talk about in terms of Ben Bigger. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you for all the support, and I love you guys. I love you so much.